Good morning. It's Tuesday and morning coffee. Today I want to talk about the heart chakra. The heart chakra is the very center of our chakras within our bodies. There's 7 chakras, as I've talked about before. 3 that are in the bottom half of the chakra tree, if you will, and 3 at the top, and then the heart sits between them. Almost as a dividing line, an entry point, if you will, for the energy shift. And the energy shifts, quite honestly, from the lower chakras into the upper chakras, right at your heart chakra. And this is something that I've become very acutely aware of in my time learning about the energies and that sort of thing. So your lower 3 chakras really have to do with physical realm issues. The root chakra with your foundations and your sense of self, your creativity and security in your sacral and solar plexus, and procreation and all of those things, right? You get to the heart chakra, and it's about that sense of self in terms of who am I, and your emotions and joy and happiness and those sorts of things. And then when you get into the throat chakra, you're talking about being able to speak your truth and know your truth and reach higher consciousness. And so there's an energetic shift from foundations to the esoteric or the spiritual realm, and it happens here at the heart chakra. And there's so much to talk about around this heart chakra. I'm not going to get into all of that today. We'll probably maybe do some conversations later on about it, because there are even some conversations that folks go into around confusions, I guess is an okay word to use. Maybe that's not the right word. Misrepresentations around the chakral energies and religion, and even truths that are buried within the holy texts and all of this sort of thing. But it really just depends on where you land. At the very minimum, you can understand that the heart chakra, much like the heart itself, is integral to our very being. Without our heart, our body will cease to exist. And if our body ceases to exist, then our spirit, our soul, will also not cease to exist, but cease to exist within this corporeal container, and we will go back to source. And so the body does not exist without the heart. And so the center, the energy center, then is very important for balancing and keeping this container in alignment with our energies and our being, our wholeness of being. And so in the Sanskrit, this energy center is referred to as anahata. And it has a frequency in the color of green. The high heart chakra does also resonate in the colors of pink, but green is the primary color for the heart chakra. And so if you are a person who enjoys use of the crystals and colors in your life, then you can consider foods that are green. If your heart chakra is out of balance, you can consider wearing greens and pinks, and you can consider the crystals that are in these colors. Rose quartz is often used for folks who have heart chakral imbalances. Jade is a lovely color for that. Adventurine, Those sorts of things are always things that you can consider. But again, as with all of our chakras, the balancing of these chakras comes through meditation practices, through yogic practices, and again through mantras and affirmations and that sort of thing. And I'm not going to get into all of those sorts of topics in this presentation, but just wanted to mention them. What I would want to say is just to touch briefly on the concepts. You know, the body systems that are impacted around your heart chakra is, of course, your heart itself, but your thymus, your lungs, your upper back, your shoulders, your circulatory system, all of these things are impacted. So if you're having dis-ease in those areas and you've already checked with your healthcare provider and there's no physiological dysfunction that they can address, then you might consider looking at some energetic dysfunctions. And these can show up, of course, with back pain, circulatory issues, asthma can be a function of that. So you would obviously use your medications that have been prescribed, and then also do some of these energetic practices, which would help support and perhaps make the need for those medications less and less intense. So you might find yourself having to use your rescue inhalers less frequently because you're balancing out those energetic areas. And so that might be something to just consider. Emotionally, you might find yourself a person who is very shy, very untrusting, very lacking in self-love, very unable to feel very open, very possessive, very jealous, those sorts of things. If your heart chakra is shut down, you're not able to be very connected. If it's very too far open, then you might be lacking in boundaries. You might be too giving in your loving of other people. You might people might just kind of waltz right in and walk right over you because you don't have your, as we talked about, that tamper. Your chakras way too far open. You're just too out there. And so it's a balance, and you do that through, like I said, your meditations and that sort of thing. And so it's really, really important. Heart chakra, everything comes in through your heart chakra, and how you see the world as, is this good for me? Is this not good for me? It is the seat of your soul. How I understand what is mine and what is not mine. As I do my own personal meditation practices, it is here in my heart chakra that I detect imbalances in energies coming at me from other individuals. Is this good for me? Is this not good for me? And this makes sense because this is where your immune system is sitting as well. It's the seat of your sense of what is good for me and what is not good for me, your emotions. And so when it's out of balance, you are going to feel out of balance. And so I would encourage you to do a lot of work around your heart chakra. More of us have heart chakra imbalances than we realize. And when we balance this, we can really think about the concepts of the new paradigm that we're shifting into. You cannot step into this new paradigm of the Aquarian age without balancing your heart chakra and balancing it frequently. Because even as you step into the world of, I want to be a higher evolved spiritual being, I want to be a person of love. I want to be all of these things. I want to be a paradigm shifter. You are going to be constantly confronted by things that do not resonate well with love. And it's going to be hitting on you all the time. And you are going to constantly need to sift through what is for me and what is not for me, what is good and what is not good, and how do I keep my energy clean and pure, and how do I keep myself joyful and grateful and in a space of love. And it is through your heart chakra that you can do that. So as with our being, it becomes integral to our well-being. The body will not live without the heart functioning properly. Our souls cannot live without our heart chakra functioning properly. We will be dreary, mundane, sad creatures. And so it's an important chakra. They're all important, but this one is one that I feel we can never, ever give enough attention to, because we want to absolutely have full, proper energy flowing through our heart chakra, as it's the gateway for us, for our soul. It's the seat of our soul, and the gateway to our joy and our happiness. It helps us balance everything, and I can't underline it enough. I can't overestimate it. I suppose. I mean, I suppose you could, because there's always extremes, but those are just my thoughts around the heart chakra today. I hope you have a wonderful day, and thank you for joining me. If you're enjoying the channel, please like, subscribe, and share. That's the advertisement. And then have a wonderful day.